Hello and welcome to Qicology. Today we're going to first go over understanding how to enhance our breathing with exercises. And the modality behind this is to view the body as a pumping system for the breath. And it's all based on breath pressure. Many of the healing aspects of Qigong and yoga is the ability to draw the pressure of the breath by using the mind to specific areas of the body. So if I have lower back pain, then while I'm doing an exercise, I want to be able to shift the pressure of my breath to that area during specific exercises in order to open the area, in order to expand the area and increase circulation and allow oxygen to get into that area so that it may become more nutriated and become more relaxed as well. So our first approach is kind of a morning warm-up series. There'll be specific exercises which I'll discuss the breathing as we're going through it. And it's important to understand that while you're doing it, to go at your own pace. And even though I may be going at a certain speed, to maybe not follow that speed, but instead to be able to follow how your breath and your body work in sync with each other. So if my movement is going to be 3 seconds, then the inhalation should be 3 seconds, or the exhalation should be 3 seconds, if that's all that I can do with my breath. So it's not really determined on how I move, it's really determined on how I breathe. So if you have shortness of breath, your movements will be a little quicker at first, and then in time, as you begin to work the pumping aspect of the body with it, then you'll actually be able to slow the breathing down. And the body will blend with this, and the breath and the body will come together. Okay? So with that, we will begin. So the first posture to begin with is called Shavasana. And in this posture, we just allow the body to relax to begin. You don't want to start these types of exercises with tension in the body. The approach is to release tension from the body, to allow the body to become more relaxed so that you can work deeper and have more endurance and stamina. So just relaxing the muscles and allowing the body weight to sink into the floor, especially the muscle groups supporting the joints. You want them to release so that the joints can open and the energy can flow naturally through the joints. You want the weight of the body to sink down, allowing the spine to release and the vertebrae to release and relax. And then we're going to draw our attention to the breath and the rise and fall of the belly. It's important to understand the body through analogy. We can use one like the vacuum cleaner. A vacuum cleaner does not suck with the bag, it sucks with the motor. And so the body is the same way, the lungs being the lungs being the bag and the abdomen being the motor. So we don't actually use the lungs to breathe. Instead, you allow the lungs to expand and contract involuntarily. So I'm going to exhale and contract the muscle groups of the abdomen, drawing the abdomen in, down toward the spine, and drawing up toward the diaphragm, pushing the breath out. So it goes in, up, and it pushes the breath out. Then relax, drawing the breath in, and push the abdomen out. The word belly comes from the word bellows, where we learn to use the abdomen as a pump, or the belly as a pump. So I'm going to inhale, the belly swells. Exhale, the belly contracts. And the more that I do this, I begin to massage the internal organs, strengthening the connective tissue between them as well. This helps to aid digestion, release tension, anxieties. And a deeper sense of relaxation. When we say breathe into the abdomen, it doesn't mean that the breath goes into the abdomen. It means that the pressure moves into the abdomen. And what happens is I'm inhaling and the belly swells. It moves the diaphragm down and it gives room for the lower lung to expand. And the lower rib cage also to expand as well. And then eventually in time, we're not just using the belly, but we're using what's called the entire chi belt, which is this whole diameter around like a girdle. So we're going to bring the knees up, bringing the feet flat to the floor. And we're going to start working with the sacral pump, which helps to increase cerebral fluid, moving up the spine. It loosens the spine, it loosens the hips, opens the sacrum, and deepens the breath. So I'm going to exhale, tucking the tailbone between the legs, drawing the abdomen in, contracting, pushing a little into the feet. And then inhale, rolling over the sacrum as the belly rises and swells. The small of the back comes up, so you see that there's a space here. I can put my hands under there. And I'm dropping my weight into my tailbone. Exhaling, rolling back over the sacrum, the small of the back now presses into the floor, tailbone tucks, belly contracts. Roll back over the sacrum, dropping the weight into the tailbone, belly swells, small of the back lifts off the floor. And it's important when you're doing these breathing exercises to keep the tip of the tongue connected to the root of the palate, just behind the top front teeth. So I'll show you the depth here. So I'm contracting the belly, it's drawing right in. Then inhale. And it swells. Contracts. And you want to sense as though you're actually swallowing the breath. Not into the stomach, though. You're not actually swallowing, it's an analogy, but it wants to feel like it's swallowed. Now, in your own practice, once this is learned, take more time with each exercise. Because it's a video, we tend to go a little quicker, we're on a time limit. But over time, you want each exercise prolonged. Find the one that works best for you and work with it. Don't focus on this exercise works best for me because I'm better at it. It should be this exercise is better for me because it's helping to strengthen my weakness. So focus on the exercises that are more difficult for you, not the ones that are easy. Okay, so we're going to inhale now, bringing the arms up. Dropping the weight into the tailbone, small of the back lifts off the floor. Oh, this gives such a good stretch. Pressing the back of the hands into the floor, right from the shoulder too. Shoulders pressing down, elbows pressing down, back of the hands are pressing down. And then exhale. Rolling over the sacrum as the arms come down, tucking the tailbone, small of the back presses, belly contracts. Also helps to allow each eye to follow each hand. Of course, the hands disappear up here. Keep the eyes raised. Exhale, and let the eyes follow. The hands will disappear down here, but keep the eyes low, stretching the optical nerves. And on the next exhalation now, we'll bring the knees up. Keep in mind, in your own practice, you'll slow this down and you'll do it a lot longer, maybe 5-10 minutes if you like. Press. All of these progress into each other. Inhale. So the knees fall away and just the toes touch the floor. My weight still drops into the tailbone. You may notice that every so often I adjust my head. That is so that I can keep the chin tucked in, keeping the back of the neck open. You don't want to be doing this, crunching the neck, because you're working the pump for cerebral fluid also to flow up into the brain. This aids the microcosmic orbit, which we will get into in other videos. It's good to flex through the heels when you come up. So we're using the ankles here as a pump as well. Stretch through the toes as you come down. Small of the back is still off the floor here. And then compresses here. You want to keep the knees and legs together for isometric support. And of course, the core is involved in all of this. We'll start bringing the forehead up to the knees now, progressing a little further. Of course, with each segment, you can take your time, go longer in your own practice. Now, as I'm coming up, it's important not to lift with the chin. Don't bring the chin up and lift with the neck. The chin tucks in. Use the core. Engage the longer back muscles along the spine, the erector muscles as you come up. So you're using the core to lift yourself, contracting the belly, decompressing. Inhale, open, expanding. Now, if I want to counter this, then what I'm going to do is drop my weight into the toes, the tailbone, and the back of the head, and press into the floor, and of course the back of the hands. Pressing into the floor, then exhale. If you want to continue to take it further, you can bring the hands to the floor, or here, whichever one's more comfortable for you. Remember, we're not straining. It's very important to flow with the stretch. Let the stretch lead you. Don't force the stretch. That leads you into injury. It's an impatient way to heal yourself, and we cannot heal ourselves through impatience. Rather than being patient for a doctor, just be patient. You'll heal. And then come back down. Okay, now we're going to bring the feet closer to the buttocks. We're going to come up into an arch. Now, when we're working with the arch, it's important to understand that you're not pushing up into the body. So I'm not going to come up and push so that my weight's going up this way. All that's doing is compressing the spine and the neck. What I want to do is to come up and the direction of the legs move away from the hips so that it pulls the hips. That way it pulls the spine, keeping the chin tucked in, taking the pressure off of the neck. So I'm going to inhale here. Same theory with the belly. Inhale, come up. And then exhale, come down one vertebrae at a time, nice and slow. Again, you can allow your eyes to follow your hands. Bring the vertebrae down as though you're dropping a chain one link at a time. Belly keeps contracting, then expands. Okay, now I'm going to leave the arms overhead, back of the hands pressing, shoulder pressing as much as I can, and continue the exercise here. It changes the dynamic, and it changes the stretch itself. It changes how the pressure moves through the upper portion of the spine and the shoulders and the scapula. And then come down, the arms. Plant the arms, the palms, shoulders, right down. Inhale, come up. Push into the floor with the hands and the arms. You'll come up in a higher arch. Contract the belly here. Remember to keep using the abs. Now you notice that as I'm moving, every so often I keep adjusting my arms or other areas. And what's happening there is, as I'm working, obviously, my body is starting to lengthen. The tendons are lengthening, the tension in the joints are releasing. So I have to keep moving to keep the stretch, because I might start here, but then after a few repetitions, I loosen up, and then the hand needs to move down here more because my shoulders are starting to open. Never stay static. Nothing in the universe is static. Always keep growing and changing in it. Bring the knees up. And we'll just press the knees. Okay, then we're going to release. Exhale, and as you, inhale. Inhale, and as you inhale, let the knees fall away. Kind of going like a circle over the sacrum. Exhale as you come up. Contract the belly. When you reach your center line, inhale. When you reach your center line, exhale. And then reverse direction. Again, the body is a pump for the breath. Then press the knees. And remember, in your own practice, you'll do each of these longer. Bring the feet to the floor. Bring the right knee up. And we're going to rotate counterclockwise. Opening and stretching through the groin muscle. Opening the hip flexors. Taking tension out of the inguinal area, which surrounds through here. And reverse. Same principle with the breath. Inhale as the leg goes away, it makes room. Exhale as the leg comes up, it compresses. The breath should be involved in every movement that we do when we exercise. Bring the foot down, and because the other side is a mirror, so the left side is a mirror of the right side, we then go clockwise to begin now. The other side, we begin counterclockwise. And then counterclockwise. Bring the foot down, extend the right leg out, pointing through the toes. And again, we're going to use the ankle like a pump. So I'm going to point through the toes, inhale, bring the leg up. I'm going to push a little through the left for leverage. Leverage is important here. Flex through the heel, As you exhale, come back down. Inhale. Exhale. It's very important to understand that you have even amount of weight in the back of the hips and in the buttocks. So you're not shifting the weight to one side and favoring one side, but it's even as you're moving. Then bring the leg up, flex through the heel. Now you can hold the leg down at the quad, the back of the calf, or take a hold of the big toe and get a good stretch here. Always stay active with the stretch. If you're holding the calf, interlace the fingers. Same with the quad. Pull. But try to keep the legs straight. That's very important. When you come down, you may feel that you're still tensing because of the exhalation and the flex. Relax for a second and then move. Again, keeping the weight even through the hips. bring the leg up. Flex through the heel. And again, take a hold wherever you feel the need to. I'm going to slap out the knee if you find it tight. When we're using slapping techniques of the iron shirt Qigong, it's important that the hands are relaxed when you're slapping. You're not hitting for abuse. You're just stimulating blood flow, strengthening the connective tissue, the tendons, even the bones. You can massage the muscle while you're stretching it as well. That enhances the stretch, releases the tension, increases blood flow. And then come down. And then we'll bring the leg out. Make sure I got room here. I don't want to kick you out in the head. That would not make him happy. It's almost impossible to make Yoda happy, though. And come down. So we're going to inhale, exhale. And come back down. Bring the knees up. Bring the knees together, releasing any tension that may have developed in the lower back. Okay, and then we're going to bring the knees down. Bring the right ankle to the left knee. Just push lightly, just for a moment, in the thigh. Then we're going to bring the left knee up, or the left leg up. Right hand goes between the legs, interlacing the fingers. Now you don't want to be right on the knee, so you're going to be right where the shin and the knee meet. Or if you're going to hold in here, if this is too difficult, don't come right up behind the knee. You don't want to interfere with circulation. You're more on the quad, okay? Chin's tucked in. Even if you need to come up and readjust so that the neck is long. And then again, stay active. Pressing. You can do one of two things or both. You can press and release, or you can even do little circle movements. Both are very beneficial and help to increase the blood flow. Now, with the right elbow, I can also press into the right thigh and get a much deeper stretch there as well. Remember to breathe. This one, of course, the breathing is a little more relaxed. But remember to breathe. So you can either continue doing this, or you can go further and extend the leg up. Take a hold of the big toe. Take a hold of the right foot. Stay relaxed. Don't jet your chin up. Keep the chin in. Relax the jaw. Bring the leg back down, interlace, then bring the forehead up. And release. From here now, I'm going to drop the left leg to the floor, bring in the right foot to the floor. Try to draw the foot up toward the hip as much as you can. You can hold it. Then the right arm comes up on a 45-degree angle looking up the arm. There's a little triangular crook in the sternum. You want to drop your chin into there. That again opens the neck. Breathe. And relax. Let the weight of the body sink into the floor. Closing the eyes also helps the body to relax. When the eyes are open, keeps the brain very active. Makes the muscles respond. Plus, when the eyes are closed, you can really feel what's going on internally. Okay, so we're going to come up. If you want, you can just drop it over to the side for a second just to release and then come back. Exhale when you do that. Sorry. And then we'll switch. First of all, just pressing. And then come up. Remember, the elbow can press into the thigh. Stay active. You'll notice that one side is always looser than the other. It's natural. But in time, they'll even out. Remember to keep the chin tucked in, tip of the tongue on the root of the palate. And then if you like, we can go further with it. Bring the leg up. Very subtle movements here. I'm staying active. Release. Exhale. And release. Inhale as you open. And if you like, drop it out to, oh, sorry. No, we're going to this side. So coming over. Foot's up as close to the hip as I can get it. Hold it. Left arm comes up on a 45-degree angle, pressing the palm into the floor, looking up, down that arm or up that arm. And then eventually relaxing and sinking. Draw your attention downward into the ground. Close the eyes and try to visualize the bedrock below you. Sink into it. Sink down deep below the soil. We're constantly dealing with electrical impulses when we're dealing with the nervous system. Just like in your house, it's important to ground the electrical wires, the electrical currents. Same with the body, grounding the electricity. Pain is an electrical current. Remember to breathe. And release. Inhale, come up. Exhale back over for a second. Bring the legs together. Now we'll bring the arms out into T. Press the palms into the floor. Bring the knees up. We're going to exhale. Exhale over to the left. Look down the right arm. Drop your weight here just for a moment. Keep the knees together. You can open the back of the neck and tuck the chin. And then switch. Come up. Inhale through center. Exhale into the twist. You can press into the palms a little for support. Find your leverage. Leverage is important to find. Inhale through center. Exhale over. After you've done that for a bit, you can progress into a further movement. Extend the legs out, up and over. Remember to move the head in sync with it. One more that's more of a martial is to bring the leg over, switch, over, switch. Okay, so come back. Okay, so now we're going to bring the knees up, press the knees, and we'll start coming up into a spinal rock. Exhale as you go back, inhale as you come up. It's a great way to massage the muscles of the back. Loosen and strengthen the spine. And then we're going to release, bring the legs over, touch, come up. Again, tuck the chin. And then we'll come up into butterfly. So we're going to bring the bottoms of the feet together. Oh, sorry, yes. Actually, I can turn the mat this way. Okay. Okay. Let me just roll one more time. Okay. Okay. You're straight on? Hold on. Stood it over? Okay. And then come up into butterfly, bringing the bottoms of the feet together. Chin tucked in. Bend the elbows so that the shoulders come down. The chin tucked in, draw up through the crown. Keep the back straight, don't slouch. Keep the core strong. And then just start fluttering. So of course you do this for a little while. Get the back of the hips relaxed and open. And then we're going to take the big toe, we're going to connect it to the third eye. So we're going to bring it up and touch. Now what's important is that you're not doing this. You're not bringing the forehead to the toe, you're bringing the toe to the forehead. It doesn't matter if it touches or not. Make the direction, that's all. Eventually in time, the area will open. Touch. This is an exhalation. Inhale as you come down. Exhale here. So if I'm tighter on one side than the other, then I may not get there right away with one leg. Now if you need the help, you can use two hands. Gives you added support. Slows the exercise down a little bit, but there's nothing wrong with that. And then if you like, bring it up, hold it. Hold it. Okay. Come back into butterfly. Then we're going to pull the feet. Exhale, go forward. Stretch out of the hip. Inhale, come up. Exhale. Inhale. Now here I'm pulling the belly in. I'm making room to go forward. Pushing the breath out. Relax, come up. Let the belly swell. You'll notice that this will help to bring in more expansion into the lungs, creating more oxygen absorption. Deeper breath. Also begins to release gas. So if you start belching while you're doing this, it's okay. And then we'll come back, extend the legs out. Just give them a nice bounce to begin, easing the muscles. Okay, then we're going to bring the legs out. Now it's very important that the ankles are relaxed, okay? You see with a lot of people, it's this, okay? The ankle is so tight that there's no release. The ankle's your foundation. And it's going to create tension through the whole body if the ankles are tense. They need to be loose and relaxed. That's where most of the power comes from. Comes from the ground through the ankles. Then it's directed through the waist and expressed through the hands and fingers. Okay? So, ankles completely relaxed. Just shake them out. Okay, and then we're going to move up, getting the whole legs now. So you're rotating right through the femur, okay? You can lean back just a little bit here and just get a nice, deliberate movement. And of course, do that as long as you feel necessary as well. Okay, and bring the feet together. Inhale, stretch up. Come up, interlace the fingers. Exhale, extend out of the hips and come forward. Now, of course, if you can't take a hold of the feet, take a hold of the ankles, take a hold wherever you can reach. Don't worry about how far you're coming. Pay attention to coming out of the hip and lengthening the tendons of the sacrum, of the whole hip girdle. Whole hip girdle is a big tendon, interconnected. If you can touch the feet, even better, okay? And then you can pull the feet. If you're very loose, you can interlace the fingers and come across this way. Or just hold here, and you can even work the hands against the feet, the feet against the hands to extend and lengthen. The most important thing now to do is to drop the head completely. Release the neck, let gravity just take the head. You're gonna feel an intense sensation move up the back. Breathe through it. Move the breath pressure into the back. And just let it release. Now for many people, the morning stretch is more limited than the evening stretch. So in the morning stretch, you may only be able to get here, and then in the evening stretch, right down, okay? It's all relative. Okay, then we're gonna inhale, come up. So basically the end of it, you're there, you're very relaxed, the head is released, the neck is open, and you're breathing into your back. If you get back pain, do this for a bit. You need to get the back of the rib cage opening and expanding. The rib cage is a series of joints, and it must expand and contract with each breath. We must utilize the back of the breath, or the back of the lungs. Because what happens if we don't, then you get seizure. The joints of the rib cage begin to seize up, they lock, they form inflammation that presses on nerves. It creates a lot of pain. So we need to get the rib cage doing what it used to do, what it's meant to do, to move with each breath like this, okay? And then we're gonna come up, inhale, so you're down, you're relaxed, you're gonna come up. Stretch up, exhale. Come down onto the fingers, just lift for a second. Just drop the hips, shake them out. Okay, and then from here we're gonna come up. Gonna extend back, bring the feet back. Tuck the head, tuck the chin. Raise the buttocks. Try to bring the heels toward the floor. The lower back sinks in, the buttocks raise, okay? And I'm holding it through the fingers and the mounds of the palms here, the mounds of the fingers. Not in the wrist. You want it to go right down and out. But I'm pushing into the hands, pushing back to the heels. And then drop the head. If you find this difficult, practice downward dog. It's just a little pedaling movement. Bring one leg up, press the other down. and sink. So we're going to come up now with the right leg, come into a lunge. Just get a nice bounce. We'll move into lunges more effectively into another DVD, where we'll move through a series called The Journey to the Summit. Step up, stretch down, stretch back. Okay, we're just going to do a little hip and groin opening here. So I'm going to come across and sink. Come through. And the great thing is you can work on pivotation through the feet with this as well. Then come forward. I'm just going to make sure the feet are slightly pointed inward. I'm just going to rock back and forth a little here, okay? Inhale as you go forward, exhale as you go back. And of course, you'll go through this one for as long as you need to. Okay, and then push into the fingers, jump in, come down, lengthen, and then we're going to inhale, bring the arms up, exhale, bring it down. We're going to move through some Qigong exercises now, and when we're working with Qigong, a lot of it is breath and working with that pressure. In some systems, you may hear them say chi pressure, breath pressure, no difference. They're all correlated. A good portion of what we did was also Qigong, mixture of Qigong and yoga, okay? So we're just going to ground the hands. Just relax. Focus on the belly. And bring the hands up. And drop them. We just want to loosen the shoulders. Get a nice bounce in the body. Activating the power of the tendons, too, by being relaxed and working on the spring aspect of the body. So you're flicking the hands as though you're flicking water off of your fingers at the ground. Make sure to keep the chin tucked in. I'm inhaling as the arms come up, exhaling as I drop. You work a little more with the spring. So we're going to come up, hands come back. Then you notice I drop through the elbow, the hands stretch. It's a whole tendon stretch, okay? It's a compression, the same way that a spring coils and releases. There's only one exhalation, small and sharp, and the rest of the movement is inhalation, okay? So I'm going to come up. And the whole body drops here. You see footage of Tai Chi masters where they'll have like 10 guys jump on them and they'll just, like this light flex and everyone on top of them will go flying. And that's what's happening is they're becoming a spring, a coil. And it's all tendon work. They spend thousands of hours practicing working with their tendons like springs. So it coils. Their legs also become like hydraulic systems. Now, of course, I'm also utilizing the belly, okay? The belly contracts sharp, then expands. So you get an understanding of that? And we'll just flow with it for a moment. Whole body moves as one rhythm. Now, for a martial artist, this should be practiced for long periods of time. It can even be a meditation. You can really lose yourself in it. It's wonderful. Okay, but we're going to go on now. So we're going to inhale, come up. Push down into the ground as you stretch up to the sky. Exhale, come down. Nice squat. Follow through. Inhale, straighten. I'm directing the crown to the floor, bringing the fingers up to the ceiling. Exhale. Inhale, we're going to come up onto the toes. Remember to pump the belly. Bruce Lee would say, you have no fist, you have a body. You have no leg, you have a body. You have no head, you have a body. Well, you have no lungs, you have a body. You have to breathe with your whole body. It is a pump. The whole body is a pump. So I inhale, come up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Now I'll take it a little further. We're going to alter the exercise now a little bit. Come through, up. Palms together, press into the floor and arch. Exhale. Don't swing forward. Drop back through your center. Oh, it's like you have two strings here and here, lifting you. Again, in your own practice, you do these a little longer. Okay? Next one. I'm going to bring the hands out. I'm going to exhale, sweep over. Inhale, bring it up. I'm going to arch back and through. Inhale. Sorry, exhale, inhale. Notice my hips go to the other side as the hand, okay? Hand goes this way, hip goes that way. We're trying to take the word opposite out of Qigong. Because the duality, the term opposite is an illusion. It's all complementary. Okay, now we're going to take it a little further. Make sure to ground through the left hand. Going to sweep down now. Inhale, bring it up. See my bum sticks out here, and then when I come up, hips come over here, and then the hips go forward. Then they go out to the side. Then they go back. So I'm doing a circle with my hips. Bring it down. Start lightly on the other side first. So we're going to go over. Then bring it down. And bring it back down. So you want to ground through the hands. And we're going to inhale, draw the hands forward. Now, in this exercise, we use the wrists like pumps as well. So we're going to inhale, come forward, dropping the elbows. Exhale, push out. Remember, the belly contracts, pulls in. Form a triangle. Inhale, open. Push into the ground a little bit. Exhale, sink through the ground a little bit as the hands come back. Turn the hands, bring the fingers down and come up. Push down. Open. Close. Second part of it now, the hands drop down. So they turn, drop down. Inhaling. Draw back with the elbows. Bring in the shoulder blades close together. Okay? We trap a lot of emotion in there. Bring it up. Belly swollen. Exhale, belly contracts. Scapula opens. Inhale. Press into the ground. When you inhale, coming up. And when you open. Inhale, press into the ground. Exhale, sink. Compress. Inhale, open, press into the ground. Exhale. Now, with this inhalation, we sink until we come up, then push it out. And again, go at your own pace there. And do it longer. We're going to come up, and then we're going to shake everything out now. Keep everything relaxed. You want to feel the internal belly jiggle. Put a lot of tension in this area, a lot of anxiety. The 2 points of emotion, the belly and behind the scapula going up into the neck. It's kind of like this area, sexual energy and relationships. This area, you're dealing more with the aspects of the ego and stature. The lower back, you're dealing with finances and structure built on your social outlook of yourself. And then the chest has everything to do with your fear in the world and your communication or lack of thereof with it. If you pay close attention and awareness of your body, in contact with your emotional circumstances, you'll be able to feel what areas respond. A little different with each person, but generally the same all around, for the most part. Of course, because everything's a hologram, you're going to get a little of each in each spot because they're all connected. Okay, we're going to speed up the shaking now. Stay relaxed. Come up off the toes. Bounce on the heels a little bit. Really shake it. Now, of course, the longer you do this, the better the benefit. Ready? And we're going to stop. We're going to bring the hands into embracing the tree, coming into a squat. Ready? And stop. Absorb the resonation. Let the tingling tingle. Back is straight. You're in your plumb line. Chin's tucked in, crown is in alignment with the anus. Breathe with your belly. Keep the middle fingers aligned with each other, and then the middle fingers aligned with the heart center. Not the heart, heart center. Weight is even through the legs. Tip of the tongue on the root of the palate. Stretch the eyes up to the center of the brain, stretching the optical nerves. So you're stretching the eyes up, staring at the center of the brain, up, right where the pineal gland is. And there you're stretching the optical nerves and you're stimulating the pineal gland, which helps to stimulate serotonin and melatonin production. Bring the hands forward now, palms facing each other, stay in alignment with the heart center still. We're going to open a few times. Inhale. Pump through the wrists, see how the wrists turn. Exhale. Push into the ground when you inhale through the legs. Exhale, absorb through the ground. Once you're done that, bring the hands back down to the dantian. Ground it. Flick the fingers. Inhale, bring it up. Palms together. Bring the feet together. Just close the eyes for a moment. Allow the body to process what it's just done. Stand tall, but the knees are soft. Don't lock them back. Drop through the crown, down through the feet. Breathe with your belly. Keep the hands together. This is keeping a closed feedback loop of energy. And then we're going to close out. So step out, inhale. Exhale, bring it down. Inhale, bring it up. Exhale down, inhale up. So closing out, we're going to inhale, open. Touch the third eye. Heart center. Lower dantian, just below the navel. Bring the hands up around the wrist line. And then open. We do this 3 times. Step in and finish just touching the third eye. Thank you.